Ladies and gentlemen, another long week for Colts fans. The Colts lose another game. This one to the Tennessee Titans. The Colts are now 0-3. The score was 16-25. Just couldn't seem to pull it off. I got my guy with me here for another episode. Brandon here with me. How you doing tonight, man?
Is it drinking time, or are we still extending out happy hour, or
Yeah,
what?
you can drink if you want.
No, it's what I expected.
Fair enough, fair enough. Appreciate you for joining me today. You guys make sure you follow him on Twitter at ColtsManiac91. The offense, we're going to start off with that. It was a little rough, not gonna lie. For the offensive perspective, we had a total of 57 total plays. We had 9 drives, just like the Titans, but total yards in general was 265. We averaged 4.6 yards per play, pretty much five. Passing yards, 178. Rushing, we only had 87 on that, 18 attempts. We'll get into that later. For the offensive perspective for the Colts, man, Brandon, let me know. How did it look for you, man? How do you think the Colts offense looked today?
I kind of had a little bit of a different perspective. I was driving, so I heard Colts radio for the first half, and just hearing their commentary on it kind of gave it a little bit different perspective than watching it on TV. It sounded like a old Harley trying to start up. You know, that crisp sound that you get, but it just could not get it. I felt that way. That was the Colts offense, due to the fact that we were really doing a decent job with the running game, with Jonathan Taylor and Hines. Both of them I felt were an actual a good duo that could have turned into something had the play calls just gone a certain way, instead of pushing passes, pushing certain plays. And then also, I know that we would be talking a whole nother ball game had Frank Wright not converted those fourth downs the way he did. We'd be singing a whole nother tune. And that's how it is. It's either for it or against it if it succeeds, if it doesn't. So it's like we'd be singing that whole tune. Now we're all praising him for his fourth down, going for it, his ballsy fourth downs and everything like that. So it's just like play calls. Allow your boys to do their game.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I agree. He did go gutsy on the fourth downs, but he did complete it. He was 100% on those. Third down was the point of my problem here. Third down, we went 3 for 12. Even on defense, the Titans went 6 for 12 on third down. We just couldn't convert on third down and couldn't stop a third down, man. We couldn't stop a nosebleed. It was just the big plays. I mean, when it comes to the Colts offense, it was hard to watch, because when you look at it, we could have really beat the Titans by running the football, which was really much identical to what we could have done, but we just didn't do it. You've seen the spurts in the second half from Jonathan Taylor. He really shone the light. Another thing of question of what was a problem is not having Marlon Mack healthy. They say he was a healthy scratch. We didn't use him at all, which was a problem. I think he could have, we ran a lot of counter plays. I think he could have really really paved the way for that run game right there. We didn't use Jordan Wilkins at all. But the fact that we tried to do some jet sweeps that didn't go anywhere. We used it for Michael Pittman Jr. on one play. He got 7 yards off of it, but we did it -7. I think it was Doolin that tried to do that, if I'm not mistaken. But it was just in general, the offense was just a huge question mark. Yeah, it was Doolin on the -7, but we only had 3 wide receivers active this game, if no one noticed. But Michael Pittman Jr., Zachary Pascal, and Paris Campbell were the only wide receivers to hold in some targets this game. Other than that, we had Hines at receiver, Molly Cox, and Jack Doyle. Jonathan Taylor had one play as well. But we had Kiki Kuti added to the practice squad, but I think he could have been pivotal going into this game because we didn't have enough receivers, which was a huge question mark. What do you think we could have done better in this Colts Titans matchup for the offensive side? What do you think we could have done better?
One person that I am absolutely over the moon proud of is Mo Alley Cox. He has hung in there, hung in with this team, and he is every single season has gotten better. Every single season he has improved, and he's getting more targets now. And there were a couple plays that I actually got to saw where he caught a pass. It was like a 5-yard slant or whatever. Caught it in the middle, and then just bulldozed over people. Like, just absolutely was a wrecking ball. Love to see that. I want to see them get him more incorporated in the offense, because I think that he is a Trojan horse with a lot of these things, a lot of these plays. But we got to utilize the run game. The run game, I just don't get why we're not utilizing that. It could do so much more than it is. It has so much potential, but it's just not amounting to it. And give better play calls. Allow the boys to do their job. Don't hide behind these simplified plays. Allow complexity. Allow these boys to just run, just do their thing. And I just feel like they're being held back.
Yeah, I agree. It's a few targets. Michael Pittman Jr. Had a few targets thrown to him. He just couldn't come down with it. Carson Wentz did overthrow him. Pascal had a pretty much a wide open touchdown, couldn't hold it in. So it was pretty much a big question mark on offense. Another week. On to the defensive side, the defense did show some breadth. They did show some light. 3 turnovers. We got an interception by Kenny Moore, strip fumble by a shocker by Rock Ya-Sin, and Darius Leonard had to pick himself, but we just overall in general could not really pull up points. So the defense, they did show some light, but we still had the same issue. Let me know your thoughts about the defense for the Colts today.
I have been the silent majority on Ephraim. Everybody's been praising him. Everybody's been, I mean, don't get me wrong. He's been the best defensive coordinator that we've had for a little bit now. However, his time's up. We cannot be doing these play calls like that he's putting these guys out there for. I will say though, Kenny Moore redeemed himself. He was out of position on the Titans, I think first or second, but then he came right back the next series and got that interception, which I thought he completely redeemed himself, which was awesome. And to go into this game and come out with 3 takeaways and not come out with a victory or even come close to a victory, like that's more heartbreaking than not utilizing the run game. Like, all 3 of those takeaways we should have gotten points off of. And I think that I don't know what we scored off, if we did at all. I'm not positive on that. I didn't take notes on it. But that momentum, like, even if we did score with it, we should have had that momentum going into our offense, then back into the defense like that. It should have been, something's just not clicking. And I don't know from a fan standpoint what's not clicking. And only thing that I could say is you got to get better play calls or get a new defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Well, totally hot take there. He's Eberflus is on the hot seat. Not mad at that decision. Like I said, it's just a huge question mark. A lot of blown coverages as usual, week in and week out from the defense. Miscommunication. Nobody knows what they're supposed to be. Zaire Franklin gets lost. Darius Leonard got lost on a flat route touchdown. Chester Rogers wound up scoring on the first touchdown for the Titans. Pretty much a blown kick to the face. He did the T.Y. Hilton celebration. I guess it's paying respect to T.Y., but for me, I thought it was, hey, he's on the enemy territory now, so I don't think he should be doing it, but he's a solid guy, so it is what it is at the end of the day. Julian Blackman led the team in tackles today. Al-Qadim Muhammad, he's still having a solid game. Bobby Okereke, he's being solid. I think Darius Leonard could have been better, but it is what it is. Big play, man. Xavier Rhodes gave up a 30-yard defensive pass interference that pretty much threw the game away at that point.
That was in the first half, wasn't it?
Yeah, I would say it was pretty much first half going into the second half, if I'm not.
Okay, so that was, I was still driving at that point, and from the commentators that were broadcasting the game, they said that it was borderline. Like, It honestly shouldn't have been called. That it was just let the players play. Like it was apparently not that much of a hold or a grab or whatever he did. Apparently it wasn't much, and I feel like there were several other calls that kind of led towards the home field advantage a little bit, and kind of gave the Titans that little bitty edge that they needed to spark their offense and spark their defense. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that the refereeing was terrible, but for that play alone, I think it was just you like for a veteran like Xavier Rhodes, you just don't make that bonehead decision, in my opinion. Like I said, it was a 50-50 call, but I would say Xavier Rhodes shouldn't have done that at all. Plus 30 yards down the field, like for some reason you just can't let that play you can't give that play up. And after that happened, I just knew the Titans were going to score, and they wind up doing that. I think it was the flat route when they wind up scoring off for that. But in general, I would say it was Xavier Rhodes' mistake. Yeah. You got to be disciplined in those plays. It was like a Rock Ya-Sin thing. Like, you're getting beat. You just can't give up that flag. Like, you're going to get beat there. You just can't give it up. For a veteran like him, I thought he would have made a bigger play. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Like I said, bonehead decisions for the Colts. Another week of why we lost this game. Just boneheaded. Like we had a chance to win the game. We just gave it up. It was just another week of giving up the game. But you got any takeaways before we get up out of here of what we could have done better?
I'm at a loss. Fire Ephraim. Get him out. I'm done with him. Like I've been done with him midway through last season. And I've been quiet about it, but I'm no longer quiet. Fire Ephraim. Get him out. I'm done.
Well,
done.
All right. You heard it first from Colts Maniac. He said get rid of Ephraim. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What the Colts could have done better? How could we adjust? What could we do to get better at the end of the season? I mean, it's still early, 0-3. We're losing to solid teams, so let's not overreact, man. Let's not overreact. We're losing to good teams. Nobody expected us to have a good first 5 weeks anyway going into the season. So I understand, the frustration as a Colts fan. I understand, but relax. It's only been 3 weeks, and it's good. It's 3 playoff contending teams that we'll be lost to. We still got some 2 more teams that go against that can make the playoffs potentially until it lightens up. But for now, the fact that we're still in the fight in these 3 games and we just couldn't figure it out at the end, Big Q going down as well, we still got question marks, and we're still in the game. So like I said, I think we're just overreacting. 0-3, still got a chance. Anything else?
Miami's our stepping stone. Let's use Miami, boost this run, and just absolutely take off. That's my positive takeaway. My positive takeaway, let's use Miami as a punching bag, get all our frustration out, come out with a W. All
right, there you have it. Punching bag Miami. Let's go. It's going to be a good one, but we'll talk more about that in the future. Appreciate you for joining on the show, Colts Maniac. Follow him on Twitter. But this is Marcus, and until next time, you've been culture shocked.